I've been the night duty manager at O'Hare for 12 years. There's a reason we never use gate B22 after midnight. They say airports are liminal spaces, places that exist only between a here and a there. When they're full of people, they are vibrant and loud. But when the last flight leaves and the fluorescent lights hum in the silence of 3 a.m., they become something else. They become heavy. My name is Elias. I've spent over a decade managing the night shifts at one of the busiest airports in the world. I've dealt with everything: drunk passengers, security breaches, and mechanical failures. But there is one thing I never put in my official reports. There is a passenger at gate B22 who never boards. She's been waiting for the same flight since 1979. And last night, she finally spoke to me. I first saw her during my second week on the job. I was doing a perimeter check of Terminal 1. The moving walkways were turned off, standing like frozen rivers of rubber. I saw a woman sitting in the shadows of the boarding area at B22. She was wearing a pale blue wool coat and a matching pillbox hat. She looked like a flight attendant from a vintage movie. She had a small, hard-shell suitcase at her feet. "Ma'am," I called out, "Terminal 1 is closed for the night. You'll need to move to the main hall." She didn't move. She was staring out the window at the dark tarmac. As I got closer, the air temperature dropped. My breath hitched in my chest. When I was 10 feet away, she turned her head. Her face was wrong. It wasn't scary, just blurred, like a photo taken with a shaky hand. "Is it delayed?" she asked. Her voice didn't sound like it came from her mouth. It sounded like it was coming from the overhead intercom system, static-filled and distant. "The flight to Los Angeles. I can't be late. He's waiting for me." I blinked, and she was gone. Just a faint scent of ozone and old perfume remained. I went to the break room, hands shaking. There I found old Sam, a janitor who had been working at the airport since it was practically a dirt strip. "You saw the lady in blue, didn't you?" Sam asked, not even looking up from his coffee. "Who is she, Sam?" Sam sighed. "May 25th, 1979. American Airlines Flight 191. It crashed right after takeoff. Engine fell off. Everyone on board perished." I remembered the history. It was the deadliest aviation accident on U.S. soil. "She was a passenger," Sam said. "Her name was Clara. She was supposed to be on that flight to Los Angeles to meet her fiancé in L.A. to get married, but she got stuck in traffic. She arrived at the gate just as the plane pulled away. She stood at that window and watched it take off, and then she watched it fall." "If she didn't die on the plane, why is she here?" I asked. Sam looked me dead in the eye. "Because grief can be its own kind of death, Elias. She died of a broken heart a month later, but her soul, it never left the last place she saw him alive." 6 months ago, I was tasked with training a new girl, Sarah. She was young, sharp, and didn't believe in ghost stories. "It's just the acoustics of the building, Elias," she laughed during our 2 a.m. patrol. "Airports are giant echo chambers." We reached gate B22. Suddenly, the flight information monitor above the gate flickered to life. "Flight 191, Los Angeles, boarding now." Sarah stopped. "Wait, that flight number isn't in use. And look at the font. It's old." Then we heard it. The sound of a typewriter. Click, clack, click. A ghostly gate agent appeared behind the desk. He was translucent, wearing a 70s-style uniform. He was processing tickets for a line of passengers who weren't there. And at the front of the line stood Clara. "Please," she was sobbing to the ghost agent, "I have to get on. I have my ticket. Look." She held up a yellowed piece of paper. Sarah moved before I could stop her. "Ma'am, do you need help?" Clara turned. This time, her face wasn't blurred. It was beautiful, but filled with a sadness so deep it felt like a physical weight in the room. "He has the ring," Clara whispered to Sarah. "I have the vows. We can't start the life we promised if I'm here and he's there." Sarah became obsessed. She spent her off hours in the airport archives. "Elias, look." She showed me a dusty file a week later. "I found the passenger manifest from Flight 191. Her fiancé, Thomas, was on that plane. He had gone ahead to set up their new apartment. But look at this." She pointed to a police report from the crash site. A small velvet box was found in the wreckage. Inside was a gold band with an inscription: "Clara, across every sky, I will find you." The ring had been placed in the airport's lost and found, then moved to a long-term storage vault in the basement of Terminal 3. It had been sitting there, unclaimed, for over 40 years. "She's not waiting for the plane," Sarah said. "She's waiting for the ring. It's the only thing left of him." Last night, a massive storm hit Chicago. All flights were grounded. The airport was a ghost town. Lightning illuminated the runways in jagged flashes. Sarah and I went to the storage vault. It took hours, but we found it. A small, tarnished box covered in decades of dust. Inside was the ring. Even in the dim light of the basement, the gold shined. We ran to gate B22. The air was freezing. Frost was forming on the glass windows. Clara was there, but she wasn't sitting. She was screaming. The monitors were glitching, showing thousands of flight numbers, all of them crashing. The sound was deafening, the roar of jet engines and the screams of 100 ghosts. "It's gone!" Clara wailed. "He's gone!" The windows began to crack. "Clara!" Sarah shouted, holding out the box. "We found it! He didn't leave you!" The screaming stopped instantly. Clara drifted toward us. Her feet didn't touch the carpet. She looked at the ring. She reached out a pale, trembling hand. As her fingers touched the gold, the static in the air cleared. For a moment, the gate wasn't a cold, empty place. It was filled with golden sunlight. A man appeared. Thomas. He was standing in the jetway, reaching out his hand. He looked exactly as he did the day he died, young, happy, and waiting. "You're late," he said, his voice a warm hum. Clara smiled. She took the ring, put it on her finger, and took his hand. "The weather was bad," she whispered, "but I'm here now." They walked into the jetway together. The monitors turned off. The frost melted. The scent of old perfume vanished, replaced by the smell of rain and fresh air. Sarah and I stood there in the silence. "Is she gone?" Sarah asked. I looked at the flight board. It was blank. "She finally boarded," I said. "I'm sitting in the break room now, writing this. Old Sam is gone. He retired last month. Sarah is now a supervisor. Gate B22 is back in service. A flight to San Diego left from there this morning. But sometimes when I walk past that gate at 3 a.m., I hear a faint sound. It's not a typewriter. It's not a scream. It's the sound of a woman laughing, low and happy. People think airports are just about travel, but they are also about arrivals. And sometimes the longest journey isn't across the ocean. It's the journey back to the person you love. If you're ever at O'Hare and you see a woman in a blue coat, don't be afraid. She's just making sure no one else misses their flight.